since, oh my gosh, since 88. How many of you could say that?
Over 100 years. Oh, sorry, on. Thanks, sweetheart. Yeah.
I've been an activist, I want people to know, in Canada for over 100 years. And I think I look pretty good for being 100.
So Alison has done it all. As I mentioned, she's a former law enforcement officer and is an advocate in many aspects in terms of cannabis and legalization, patient rights, and the medical users. So I'm just going to touch super briefly, Alison, on what happened a little while ago, and then I want you to tell us what happened recently. So not too long ago, Alison and her lovely husband Gary were out celebrating their anniversary at an establishment that they've been to a million times before. And obviously she's a woman who maybe has some additional needs. So I would think if you see someone medicating or administering medication, you'd be very respectful and, you know, even say a prayer because you feel bad because you don't have to do all that. You'd think you'd have some empathy. Long story short, she was self-medicating and a young bartender had a problem with it. Next thing you know, the cops showed up and poor Alison was escorted out, so unjustifiably so. And just, in my opinion, just a really disgusting display of human behavior. And if you think that was enough, it happened a second time. It happened again.
It did.
About a month ago, right?
They don't like me, the police in Canada.
It's crazy. So I'm just going to let you tell everyone about that story. Thank you so much for sharing it. We appreciate you being here. I know it's not easy, but I keep telling people the more you talk about it, the more awareness you spread. When someone else hears that you went through it, they may relate to the same thing. It helps us progress and get further to where we should be.
Yes.
And that's the purpose.
Beautiful. Beautifully said, Reena. Thank you. So everybody, as Reena had said, I've been an activist in Canada for a lot of years. I am actually one of the first medical cannabis patients in our country from 1994. I'm one of the first 20s, somebody told me back then. Anyway, so since then, I have decided, as I did the day that I became an activist, this was not about me, everybody. This was about all of Canada and the world, because this is happening everywhere. So as Reena said, I was arrested recently and taken out of a bar. I was escorted out of a legal licensed establishment called the Sly Fox in Burlington, for those of you who are interested. And they escorted me out of the bar and charged me with trespassing and charged me, as I was again carrying my magic mushroom tea, which I always do, they charged me with having an unknown substance on premise. So my lawyer, Paul Lewin, and I were looking into that case and thinking about what to do to fight that. And I ended up going to a local Burlington, Rib Fest it's called. And my friends, again, the Killing Time band who I've grown up with, were playing there. And of course,
they're very well known.
Yeah, well, the Killing Time band, those guys, again, have been there every single time I've been arrested. And they always play songs like Stand Up For Your Rights. They switch right into them as soon as I get, surrounded by police. But ultimately, again, at Ribfest, I was escorted out before they went on stage. And I was told not to come back on property if I was gonna smoke. So I protested outside of the fence, being locked out of the actual park area that the Ribfest was in. I decided I was going to have a little one-woman protest in my electric wheelchair, and I let them have it. But ultimately, the funniest thing is, and as the gods would have it, because that's what the Creator does, one of the lawyers in the circle of lawyers that I deal with ended up winning a case in Alberta just around the same time a few weeks ago that actually was all about having cannabis at fairs and music festivals and events across Canada. And what happened was that day, he won for all of us. So now again, it's coming to Ontario. They say in 2026, At events, they'll be able to sell and have this designated area for cannabis consumers at events and music festivals in this country. So again, we're not stopping fighting for those very reasons. Again, music is a big part of why, and again, how I kept going for all these decades. So musicians are some of my closest friends have been musicians. And for those of you who don't know, I actually grew up playing guitar, and I was teaching guitar at the age of 16 at a local music store in Oakville, Ontario, called the High Note. And I taught there for a number of years, thinking I was going to be a rock star in that respect.
You'll have to do something for us sometime.
I live vicariously through my friends, the Kill-A-Time Band, so. But anyway, so again, Ripfest, and of course, again, the first one that was a month earlier at Sly Fox when I got arrested and charged. So again, now to wrap it all up there, I go to court December 2nd, and my lawyer, Paul Loon, and I are going to make a big deal out of this because we don't feel it's fair that people, again, who choose these substances, whether they be cannabis or psychedelics, they don't have a safe place in Canada to do it, me included. So my initiative that I'm starting with my lawyer is more of a crusade. It's going to be on December 2nd. And we're going to tell the country again that we need a safe place to consume. But we also, again, some people are not comfortable unless they're consuming with a doctor or a therapist at a retreat or one of those things they go away to, So what we want to do is make everybody comfortable and make sure that doctors and nurses who want to be part of this and therapists of these retreats don't lose their licenses because they attend them. So again, that's what Paul and I are fighting for. We're going to fight for the right for, again, some of these therapists to be allowed at ceremonies, at retreats, etc. And then for people like us to have a safe place in Canada to consume psychedelics. So I got your back, everybody. I'm not letting you down.
Thank you, Alison. Yeah, we definitely need lounges. Somehow lounges have disappeared.
They sure have.
But we allowed that to happen too, right?
Yes. Yes, we did.
We did.
We didn't speak up enough.
Yeah. And lounges just closed.
Yep.
They just went out of business.
And again, sad because I'm medical, so that wasn't the priority for me.
Yeah.
Where were you guys? Where were you guys when the lounges were being closed 9 years ago? A friend of mine, Joey, I don't know where she is.
Oh,
Hi,
Joey, lounge owner,
had a
big up
lounge.
Mama.
And boy, oh boy, was that an amazing lounge that she had.
Yeah.
Puff Mama. And again, she lost it when
The underground.
legalization hit.
The underground.
Exactly.
Anybody remembers the underground?
It was amazing. There were beautiful people. Joe Rogan from the U.S. was a friend of Joey's and attended the Underground Cafe.
Yep.
She had her
legacy
comedy.
legends in the house.
Oh my God, if you guys only knew the legends that are around you, wow, you wouldn't even believe the work that these people have done to keep cannabis and to keep consumers aware. Again, big part of this whole thing today. And that's another thing. I want to thank Reena and Anthony as well. Because Reena and Anthony, by doing these sorts of things, are keeping this alive, you guys. This is why people are attending.
It's important.
Give them a huge round of applause. Anthony and Reena. Woohoo!
Legalization did not consider us. I'll tell you that. It is convenient. It's nice to not have to look over your shoulders everywhere you go, but you still do in some places. You still have to make considerations, and you still have to accommodate other folks. So, yeah, we're not there.
Hey, and medical patients are still getting arrested at events.
Still.
So that's wrong.
And
that's again why people like us fight, sorry Reena, in this country, because it gets me really upset. What if it was one of you who was at a music festival, consuming your cannabis, bothering nobody, hurting nobody, in a little corner all on your own, and somebody complained because there were children close by? Well, you know what I say?
There are children who
Educate your children.
Damn
It's
right.
not my issue.
There are children who need cannabis to live.
There
so that
are.
is completely ignorant. It's just ignorance. You just dealt with ignorance.
Cannabis is food. Like, let's get real here.
It is. It
It's
should be in a
weed, it's
supermarket.
food. Like, come on.
It should be in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Just like if wine could
Should
be
be
in a
sold like
supermarket,
tomatoes.
cannabis should be in a supermarket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Alison. So I see where you're going now. What would be the next thing that you have on your agenda? December 2nd, I guess. I guess that's pretty much the focus right now. Okay, you tell me what's going on.
No, everybody. Alison's always busy. She's the busiest, most vocal activist in the world for drug law reform. Alison Myrden is. And actually, for those of you who don't know, I was just on a TV show. I'm a TV producer, Emmy award-winning TV producer, found me from the U.S. We ended up connecting, and I went on his show just a couple of days ago, Coast to Coast News, and I believe it's called Pro Cannabis Media now. The name had changed, so check it out on YouTube, Pro Cannabis Media. I did an interview with the owner, Jimmy Young, or I guess the man who started it, just a couple of days ago. But again, I have another thing as well for those who are interested, not just CannaCrawl, because again, another busy event, but coming up this week, I have on October 8th, I think it is, a podcast online. For those of you who'd like to hear, it's about the history of cannabis in Canada. And it was a module for school that I did in Vancouver, British Columbia. And the school is called School of Psychedelics. And I did the history of cannabis as medicine in Canada, a module on that. And then I did also a slight history so far of psilocybin in Canada and how I'm involved with that with my lawyers, Paul Lewin, etc. So lots going on.
That's awesome. Amazing. Amazing. Is there anything you could suggest that maybe the community can do to help further the efforts that you are working on and so many others are working on in terms of convincing our legislators that policy needs to change in a lot of arenas? What would your suggestion be for just like the average community member that wants to see change?
You know what I ask of everybody? One thing. Educate, educate, educate. The more you know, the better you'll be able to stand your ground with anybody who doesn't necessarily know what you know. And again, rather than argue with them, you can explain that this is actually what's happening. Nicely, right? But educate people. That's all I ask. That's all I've done I've been doing this for over 35 years in Canada. I won't stop. I wasn't in an electric wheelchair when I started, and slowly I progressed to one. But ultimately, that doesn't mean that I'm still not going to be heard. So I'm going to make it a point around the world. For those of you who don't know, I was on Montel Williams' podcast last year. And Montel, what an angel, understood the plight of us in Canada with medical, choices like cannabis and psilocybin. So again, I'm really thankful that there are people out there doing these, podcasts, global podcasts, and that we're asked to be part of them. So not stopping anytime soon.
Thank you, Alison. We got to keep it up, that's for sure.
You bet.
And you know what, just as you mentioned legacy, I am going to mention a few legacy brands that are here today because they do deserve to be recognized and bigged up. And these are people who I have known in the industry as long as I've been around. There used to be a market long before CannaCrawl called the Green Market.
Yes.
Many of us participated in the Green Market.
Yes.
And the folks who ran the Green Market are now in the legal industry. Lisa, who is Mercari Agency now, and how many hundreds of brands under her name.
Right on.
So, these folks have crossed over, but I'm going to mention some of the names. So maybe starting on this side here, Vegas over here was part of the cloth way back in the day. Green Markets, when I was there as well. Tanya from Bloom High Tea Social Club, and also Dogtown Concentrate. These are long-time legacy folks. We're going like 10 years back.
Wow.
Over to this side, Sofa King Good Bakery. who probably won an award like 10 years ago. That's how long they've been around. Big up for the King. Running along beside here, Act of Relief was at our first CannaCrawl and every single CannaCrawl since. That's going on.
That's devotion.
Over on the side there, Ari, with formerly Fritz Gummies. He is Lemon Sky Gummies. He's also a part of the Green Market from back in the day. Next to him, former lounge owner, Underground 420, Puff Mama, 420 Joey Puff Mama, big up Joey. Outside, and then we've got outside as well. We have Honey Badger Concentrates. Honey Badger Extract, who's been around forever and a day.
Yes.
Everyone remembers Honey Badger.
Right on.
Right next to them, Sublimator Warrior. Sub has been dabbing people up for more than 10 years. As well, outside, we've got, oh my gosh, Happle, Dave. Dave made the drive. Big up Dave.
All
Dave
right.
and Happle, Electric Dave. Him and Master Glass, who run Happle. And let me think, who else is outside? But these are big, big legacy folks. Amy Brown.
Make sure you see them all.
We mentioned Amy Brown. Amy's
Yes.
deep
Right
first
on, Amy.
dispensary, woman-owned dispensary. Big stuff. So
Oh,
these are
right.
the people that you're in the room with. They literally helped to build the industry. They've been here for decades, and I'm so honored to have them to be a part of my event. Val and Matt were here from the Shatterizer. Mr. and Mrs. Shatterizer were here earlier. Another legacy to legal brand. Like, the house is just full of them. So big up to and Patrick. There's Patrick Wagner outside with his two sons. Patrick out there with Thirst Trap. He's also another legacy to legal person. So big up to all my legacy legal friends. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody out there.
Right on. Mike Baker, I want to send a big squish out to you, darling.
Herbalife has been around too for a long time. Big up
like me
Herbalife.
wouldn't be here.
Herbalife as well.
Woohoo, Herbalife.
And you know, anyone else who's just been a part of CannaCrawl, we appreciate you all. Both we appreciate you, Joe. We appreciate you all. Everyone.
The love goes everywhere.
Thank you so much. All of your contributions are not unnoticed.
Woohoo! Big round of applause, Sam.